Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Maddles, and today I've got game 1 of a best of 1. It's a little bit of ladder fun, and it is a Protoss versus Terran. Down in the bottom right position spawning, as the red Protoss player, we have Elfie. And his opponent, in the top left, I'm not quite sure how to say his name, but he is the blue Terran player, either Nunez or Nunes. I'm going to go with Nunes, I think, because, like, the way I'm working this out is, of course, if you scrap the Z, it'd be Noon, because it's like Rune, but Noon. So Nunes, I reckon. It could also be Nunez, but I reckon Nunes sounds cool. It's definitely easier to say. So if Nunes you ever tune in, I'm apologising now if I'm saying your name wrong. But yeah, this should be a really fun little bit of PvT. It's from the ladder. Elfie, of course, been making some nice splashes in WCS EU. His PvP is amazing. It's his best matchup by far. But of course, his PvT and also PvZ aren't exactly lacking either. I believe Elfie is GM at the moment. I could be mistaken, but he's definitely doing really well for himself. So, will be interesting to see. Anyway, Gateway coming down at the moment, up against a Barracks for Nunes. So nothing too crazy is going to be occurring. No proxies as of yet. Could still be a proxy Stargate potentially. Could be a proxy Starport out of Nunes. Both are options. It's Vel'Shias, so you know where your opponent's expanding, you know where your opponent is spawning, and you can be quite happy about that. Expansion timings are going to be pretty big, and this probe is going to be making his way out fairly early, actually. So it'll be interesting to see if this is just for scouting. It should be. Shouldn't be anything too scary. Ooh, second racks coming down here. This is cool. Okay, Nunes is going for the 2 racks. This is going to allow him to do 2 things. 1, be very safe, very ridiculously safe. And 2, be able to potentially put on a nice bit of pressure. Elfie going for some interesting scouting patterns, mainly making sure that there's no proxy 2 racks. That's the big thing that he's keeping a good little check on. And yeah, all looking pretty good. Now, anyway, 2 racks has now been spotted by Elfie. He knows what his opponent's doing. This is actually quite a big giveaway that there's about to be a lot of Marines. It's probably going to be quite a little Marine shove. Elfie, therefore, doesn't want to expand too fast. That would be a dangerous thing for him to do. Could also look at getting out his Mothership Core relatively early. He is on 2 gas, nonetheless. That early Mothership Core would allow him to get a Photon Overcharge. Could also pump out a Sentry. The Sentry would be critical because then you can force field off the ramp. Buy yourself some time, split the army in 2. But the important thing for Elfie now is just to hold this watchtower, because he's then going to be able to see, ideally, if units move out. Could do with holding the other one as well, because it's possible these Marines could just sneak their way through, past, and come the other route. But really, with the Zealot out, not too much to worry about. There's the Mothership Core as well, so this should be fine to defend. Nunes now going to be starting up that command center, so 2 racks into CC. An interesting way of going for it, and if he's going for this, then Elfie needs to find it. Needs to know that there's not too much aggression coming. This isn't terribly scary. This is just incredibly safe from Nunes. Elfie is going to be moving forward, though, once again. Going to see, with the probe, nothing, because the Marines pushed very far forward. That is actually a great move by Nunes, because without knowing this bunker's down, without knowing the command center's down, this could still be a 1-base play. Be a very aggressive push coming, and Elfie has to be very cautious. He doesn't want to lose anything. The Stalker is coming forward. He's getting out a second Stalker as well, but still just getting more probes out. Gonna go and take his expansion. Feeling safe because he's got this watchtower. He's got the map presence. The Mothership Core needs to stay up though. If that gets sniped down by these Marines, it would be pretty devastating. But interestingly, Elfie coming from the other way, using the Mothership Core to grant vision just to see if there's any Marines. And the second he sees that bunker, Elfie's gonna be a lot happier. He now knows, with a fair amount of certainty, that this expansion is being taken. That means that he's safe. A 3rd rack's following this on. A refinery, a 2nd refinery should I add, is getting taken. Only 4 SCVs and gas at the moment for Nunes. Meanwhile, Elfie, his expansion is going to be a bit late, but he's teching to make up for that. Because remember, I like to think of any game of StarCraft as really having 3 sides. You've got your current army, your economy, and your tech, which includes upgrades. So you can really only focus on, say, maybe 2 of those points at a time. Trying to get all 3 at once is difficult. So anyway, we do see now that, yep, the Mothership Core is just poking, prodding, trying to keep some vision, trying to keep the attention of Nunes on trying to defend it, trying to pick it off. As long as he doesn't lose it, Elfie is going to be absolutely fine with that. And yeah, all looking quite nice. We've got the second gateway coming down here from Elfie. He's finished up his robotics facility, choosing to get an observer out. I think that's a smart choice. He's wanted to get a good scout. Stim, of course, only just starting now, but it's important to know that's only just starting now, and that there wasn't anything chucked down on those 2 racks, which, oh no, he has actually seen it, so he knows that Tech Lab has only just got started. The Marines Gonna get baited back down again. This is just keeping Nunes' attention on trying to kill a Mothership Core, which any APM of your opponent you're able to soak up by doing stuff like this. Obviously good, as long as you're comfortable, you're not going to lose anything. So, where does this leave the game going forward? Well, Elfie going to need to produce a decent number more probes, saturate these two gases fairly fast, especially since he's got the robotics bay coming down. Going up into those quick Colossi just means that yes, in the mid game he's going to be in a really good spot. He's going to force really Nunes to try and get out a couple of Vikings ASAP to deal with it, but it also leaves Elfie slightly vulnerable in the earlier stages, because as Elfie's sitting there and he's like, well, my economy is going quite nice, my tech's going quite nice, I'm vulnerable to a push now because his army is going to be lacking a little bit. We see the command center is trying to come down. Third CC very early here from Nunes, and I'm not sure this is the safest move to make, because yes, Elfie at the moment isn't able to put on any pressure, but in the very near future, when these Colossi start hitting, actually Elfie is going to have a very scary force, and this third could be a vulnerability, especially since the tech currently for Nunes is very far behind. The factory only just finishing up, he's getting a reactor on that, the starport going to get started, but that means no medevacs for a long time. And if there's no medevacs, you've then got to decide, am I going to get medevacs out or am I going to get Vikings out? You don't want to be making that choice. You want to be getting both ideally by the time Colossi hit. But Elfie coming over, he's going to see this third now. This scout for Elfie, really important, knows that that base is on its way. And this could trigger a push. We'll see if some additional gateways get thrown down. But he has started the double forge. That was before that he knew that the third CC was down. So he's not completely committed to this yet. Is allowing them to finish and is going to start the upgrades anyway. So is not going to be going for a quick push, instead going to try and take a fast third base, most likely. Could go and try and put on a little bit of pain, but with the double upgrades coming, with the Colossi out, Elfie really isn't sitting there saying, I want to end this game fast. Is getting only 2 additional gateways on. That takes him up to 4. 4 gates is not terrifying. There's also this large infantry pool making its way forward, but remember, no medevacs. The first two only just coming out. The second starport is getting started though. If we take a look at the vision, no vision at all for Nunes. He has no clue at all what Elfie is doing. But Elfie, with observer placement, knows precisely what's coming down from Nunes. That Central Rocks just being kept up with 14 health, ready to get taken down later if need be. We've got the Twilight Councils with the tech switch already starting to head towards the right way to get those Templar archives up, to get out High Templar on Storm, but critically also to stop the 2-2 upgrades immediately. The single Colossus coming in, the Force Wheels are very good there for Elfie. He knocks out all of that infantry. Of course, he's got enough energy for a mass recall if needed, trying to get a couple of shots off on those SCVs, managing to kill 4 workers is all. Gonna mass recall now, but he wasted some mining time. Suddenly put the pressure on and probably put a little bit of a concern in there for Nunes. Nunes as well has to be careful not to overproduce Vikings until he confirms that actually Elfie is going for this push, because, or rather this Colossus investment. Yes, he's got 4 coming out, but currently all Nunes has seen is 1. And it's not uncommon for Protoss players to get out, say, 1 Colossus and then switch things up very, very fast into getting down a really quite nice, easy High Templar, getting some Storms, and then going, you're a Terran player and you decided to invest heavily into Vikings when I've only got 1 Colossus. That means you go sell later and I'm going to tech switch and kill you. But luckily for Nunes, that is not what Elfie's doing. And actually, Nunes now moving forward with what is quite a scary force. The Viking count getting a bit higher. He's producing 3 at a time. That means there are only 4 medevacs. Of course, the Observer, coming in just to take a quick look, will be able to see some of these Vikings if he keeps moving forward. Knows the rocks have been taken out for the quick move across the map. But yes, I would say at the moment, Elfie needs to be cautious. Nunes is massively up in army supply, 84 to 44, and that's due to the fact that so much of Elfie's money is going into teching and upgrades that he's neglected to get enough gateway support. If Nunes goes now, I could see him doing very nicely indeed. So, Nunes, just waiting at the moment, is going to start moving forward. Remember, 1+1 is done for Elfie. 1-1 is not quite complete yet for Nunes. He does have +1 infantry weapons, but +1 infantry armor is still an in-game minute away. I don't think Nunes can afford to wait for that in-game minute. Of course, Elfie, with the observer placement, knows this push is coming. He's taken that greedy third. He's gone for the greedy tech with the fast Colossi and also the fast blink and double upgrades. And is he going to get punished for it? Well, Nunes, he's moving up and in. The Vikings need to get great engagements on those Colossi, and that's exactly what they're doing. There aren't many Stalkers, only 5 there. Dealing with these Vikings is going to be hard. Nunes just needs to pull back and say, do you know what? I don't need to engage these Colossi yet. I can pick them off. More Vikings coming in here. Photon Overcharge trying to be used. The Mothership Core is going to get taken out. It nearly had enough energy for another Folk Nova Charge. Only one Colossus remaining. Nunes is definitely in a very good spot here. He's able to push forward. He's going to try and focus the Colossus, and once that Colossus goes down, it will be bad times with the Stalkers. Will pick off the final Viking. One more shot onto that Colossus would kill it, but unfortunately Nunes not focusing, and yet there it goes down, and suddenly this infantry has pretty much free reign. Folk Nova Charge trying to do more damage. Another Colossus comes in from the side, but two Marauders and a group of Marines gonna have things to say about that. Does take it out. Elfie in a terribly bad spot. GG's out, and Nunes, just with a really nice timing push, is able to win the game. So congratulations to him. Unfortunately for Elfie, he just committed way too much of his resources into trying to tech and upgrade and expand, meaning he didn't have much of a standing army. Nice timing out of Nunes, and he takes the game well deservingly. So, if you enjoyed that game, make sure you like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. And I'll be back tomorrow with yet another new cast. So, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.